This is CW Sports.
We're in Tallahassee as we welcome you to the CW Tip-Off Show, brought to you by Red Lobster. On a huge day of women's basketball in the ACC, we got a top 25 matchup. NC State on the road against the Florida State Seminoles, the top scoring team in the ACC. Isaiah James for the Wolfpack, Tania Latson for Florida State, head-to-head and face-to-face in this incredible matchup between these two programs. It is so great to have you with us for women's basketball in the ACC on the CW. Tom Wormy along with Kelly Dale. And Kelly, certainly, we have one of the best games in all of the nation to show you this afternoon. NC State has won 7 in a row. Florida State has won 6 in a row, and they haven't lost at home this season.
Well, as a fan, this is the game that's been circled on the schedule. You've got the nation's top offense in Florida State going against a team in NC State traditionally known for their defense. When we talked to Wes Moore, even after that Duke win for them, he was not happy about their defense. So things are going to have to get right for him if he wants to take down this Florida State team.
Isaiah James will have a big responsibility today. What did she do on Monday? How about a career high against Duke at home with 36 points?
Well, she showed the nation how good she really is. Those 36 points came on 78% shooting against the ACC's best defensive team in Duke. Overall, the team played outstanding, shot 61%. She'll be ready to go today.
Across the way, it's Tania Latson. All she does is lead the nation in scoring for the Noles.
Is that all? Because she has been doing everything. A 3-level scorer. You see her numbers, 27 points. What I love most about that is she's not just a player that's got her head down looking for a bucket. She will distribute the ball, career high, 12 assists. And that is the look at the nation's leading scorers. Tania Latson, number 1. Isaiah James, number 6. Another ACC player in Hannah Hidalgo. The ACC is loaded this year, Tom.
And how about Latson? 21 times this season, she's gone for 20 points or more. She will be the focus for the Seminoles. And we thank you for watching the CW Tip-Off Show, brought to you by Red Lobster, Lobster Fest. Back, dunking today with over 10 delicious lobster dishes. Welcome to ACC Women's Hoops on the CW, presented by Allstate. You're in good hands. NC State, Florida State. Last time they played the ACC tournament a season ago in Greensboro, North Carolina. And NC State eliminated the Noles from the tournament in the semis. Let's take a look at today's keys to the game with Kelly Deo, brought to you by Sky Rizzi.
Well, for NC State, it's all things defense. It's going to start with transition defense, then it's going to go to containment defense. But I think maybe the most important is going to be the help side defense because of the way this Florida State team penetrates. And then pace, pace, pace. It's all about pace for this Florida State team. They lead the nation in possessions, in points per game. What is outstanding about them, though, Tom, is that they also lead the ACC in limited turnovers, just 10 turnovers a game. They're able to play at this pace while staying under control. They've started really bringing the pressure defensively as well, and it's made for a great mix.
They've scored 100 points or more 7 times so far this season. Let's take a look at today's starting 5. It's brought to you by Bounty, the quicker picker-upper for NC State. Also in that starting lineup, Zoe Brooks, second leading scorer on the team, just over 13 points per game. And then the defensive eraser, KK Timpson. She leads the conference in blocks. She's second in the nation, over 3 per game for Michaela Timpson, number 21 in that starting lineup. For the Florida State Seminoles, who have not lost at home this season, they are 12-0 on their home floor and 5-0 against conference opponents. NC State in the red, Florida State in the white. And the Noles control the opening tip right away. Latson misfires. Krieger up for the rebound for NC State.
Rebounding is going to be an essential part of this because NC State wants to get going on the run as well, but they've got to stop Florida State from getting multiple possessions at the basket.
NC State is 13-0 this season when they out-rebound their opponents. That's a free ball, diving for it. Held ball situation, and the Pack maintains possession.
Just a little extra effort from Amaria Gordon. That's what you get from her every single possession.
Gordon, the sophomore, 5'4" from Bradenton, Florida, diving for that one to tie it up. NC State keeps it. Brooks on the inbounds. In traffic, bounces off. Hayes had a chance close to the rim. Both of these teams working on winning streaks. Gordon on the drive and the floater.
Essentially, Florida State is a three-headed monster. You've got Timpson inside, you've got Amaria Gordon, and then, of course, Tanaya Latson. So you cannot leave any of those players open. And there's the defense that Florida State has become known for, this SOS defense, leading almost to a bucket. And then Gordon will get the foul.
So she missed on the acrobatic attempt and then committed the foul in the aftermath. She and her teammates, as we mentioned, have won 6 in a row, 11 of their last 13 games. Their only ACC losses were on the West Coast swing against Stanford and Cal, losing both of those matches away from Tallahassee, Florida. NC State's won 7 in a row, 14 of their last 15 games. Here's James. Shot clock's at 10. James reversing field. Off the rim, Trieger cleans it up.
Great job by Trieger to stay on that backside spot where she gets the rebound and put back.
Freshman from Stockholm, Sweden. Latson slightly off balance. Her second miss.
Trigger's going to have a difficult job defending Timpson inside. She's got to stay on the floor and stay out of foul trouble.
How about the dribble and drive from Brooks?
We talked about Florida State's pace. And NC State loves to get up and down the floor as well, so you got to stop them in transition.
Brooks had 15 points in that win at home against Duke for NC State on Monday. One of the 7 ranked teams in the ACC. Spinning and scoring. Michaela Timpson into the box score.
Well, Brooks did a good job of icing the ball handlers, keeping her on one side of the floor, but then that left a 2-man game wide open for inside.
Rivers driving. Help came over from Williams. Bowles on the run. Steps into the 3. Rips it. Bowles, a 3-pointer.
Sydney Bowles. She can drop down buckets in a hurry. She is one of those players, one of the cast that needs to play well in order for this team to get going.
How about 53 made threes on the season for Bowles, and that leads the team. Brooks with a little mid-range. Timpson trying to work on Trieger with the spin. Trieger stays with it and blocks it. Out of bounds, it will stay with Florida State.
And I imagine that is going to be a matchup they're going to try to exploit with the freshman guarding the senior in Timpson.
Wes Moore is the 12th year head coach for NC State. If he wins today, take a look at that career number. Career win number 850 for Wes Moore. That bounces out. Williams kept it alive. Latson tees it up. Still trying to find the range early on for 0-0. Rivers gave it back to Trieger. Williams clears.
And you've got to be careful getting back in transition, especially with a shooter in Trieger. Cannot let that go. Same with Malaya Williams. Also, can't find the bottom of the net.
Running it back the other way for the Pack. James has it off the glass.
Well, so far, that has been best offense for NC State, getting the ball in transition. My question is, can NC State withstand this pace for 40 minutes of this game?
Coach Moore told us he was willing to run up and down the court with Florida State, looking for a better defensive effort from the win against Duke, and that produces a turnover. 2-on-1, perhaps 3-on-1. James. Mid-air contact with Williams, and she will be going to the free throw line. Brooke Wyckoff in her 4th season as the head coach. She's been on the staff now for 14 years. She was an assistant under Sue Semrau, taking over for the legendary coach here at Florida State. They've been to the NCAA tournament the last 3 seasons under Coach Wyckoff, who had a Hall of Fame career here at Florida State as a player.
Love seeing her name up in the banners here. And I'm told Sue Semrau is going to have a banner of her own. I believe that's next game as the winningest coach in Florida State history.
Second one spun off for James, and NC State will keep it. Ed Sidlaski was right on the baseline, made the call. He's joined by Fatou Sissoko-Stevens and Tyler Trimble. I had a great chat with Coach Wyckoff right before the game. It's always great to see her enthusiasm right away. Got me ready for the broadcast. It was inspirational.
She loves this team, and she's got a lot of reasons to be happy about the way that they're playing. And
the body language does not suggest it right now, though.
She was a player back in her day. Do not mistake her beauty for thinking she wasn't tough inside. Tilda Trieger gets a nice bucket off the inbounds play.
You know, they just barely beat the count there, too, in the inbounds for the Pack. But it produces points. Coaching 5.5 minutes remaining in our first quarter of play. Latson trying to get on track, and that was high degree of difficulty for Latson.
I think Latson got away with a travel first, but the separation that she gets from her player up in the air is how she gets those shots to fall.
We don't have enough time in the broadcast to talk about what she has done this season. I'll start with a 40-point game in early January at Virginia Tech to tie the school record. Natasha Howard back in 2014 had a 40-point game. Oh, James, that's a 3.
Picking up where she left off, that 36-point performance against Duke. I said it in the open, 78% she shot from the floor. Outstanding. She had 27 points in the second half alone, Tom.
That is a long-distance three-pointer and a miss for Florida State and Bowles. Brooks stops, bounces out. Good work on the offensive glass. And it results in a three-pointer.
Well, if you like offense, you are watching the right game, because this is a fast pace for both teams. Latson can't get that one to fall. She hasn't found her rhythm yet.
James ahead of the field, and she lays it in. And Brooks found her. And a timeout on the court.
Florida State slow to start, but NC State dropping threes and getting going in transition. They're up 10.
You're watching ACC Women's Hoops on the CW, presented by Allstate. You're in good hands. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today. Coach Brooke Wyckoff taking over for the legend Sue Semrau. Over 1,300 points in her career and one of the top all-time scorers for this Florida State program. Trailing by 10 to NC State. You're looking for a cable news network which respects all Americans? Then you have a new home with News Nation. See why News Nation is America's most trusted cable news network. To find News Nation on your screen, go to newsnationnow.com. Kelly, we are seeing high-volume shooting from these two teams so far.
NC State has been shooting the lights out lately. 61% in that game against Duke. The game before that against Wake, 53%, 56% against Virginia Tech. 3 straight. Now, Tom, they're sitting at 62% early in this first quarter. Everything going right now for NC State.
For Florida State, just 30% shooting so far, and that number is going down. Another miss and trailing by 10. For the number 14 team in the nation, NC State, which, by the way, started last year unranked and made the Final Four. Well defended inside. Snoop Turnage made the play, number 1 in white. This is Gordon. Trying to get around Hayes, giving up some size. And able to initiate contact for Omaria Gordon to the free throw line.
NC State prides themselves on playing defense without fouling. They are the ACC leader in least fouls per game. And so nobody likes a foul picked up on them, but in particular, that little ticky-tack foul.
You're watching ACC Women's Hoops on the CW, presented by Allstate. You're in good hands. And we are at the Tucker Center, Tallahassee, Florida, for ACC Women's Basketball. Tom Wormy, along with Kelly Dale, a member of the 2001 National Championship team from Notre Dame. NC State, that win 89-83. They did struggle from beyond the arc in that game. Just 4 of 13 against Duke. Trigger is the cutter. Too strong off the glass. Florida State scored 101 points on Thursday at Virginia in Charlottesville. And a traveling violation gives it back to the Pack. Some minor frustrations early on now for the Noles. Yeah, especially for a team that only turns the ball over 10 times. They already have 2 in this first quarter. That's what Coach Wyckoff says about her offense. I'm trying to eliminate decision-making. Every time a player touches the ball, I want them to look at the basket to try to score. If they don't have a shot, they can drive or pass. But it's really astounding to think of the amount of plays that happen with so few turnovers, and then their defense gives them an opportunity now. Timpson with the block. She tied her career high with 8 in the win at Virginia. Snoop travels. And another turnover for Florida State. Tania Latson will check in for Turnage. So Latson, who averages just over 26 points per game, best in the nation, shoots 48% from the floor. She had 27 points at Virginia. So 25 shots in that game, but also had 12 assists. Yeah, career high 12 assists, which is pretty outstanding. To think of the amount of attention she gets as NC State with a miss. Can Tania Latson get going offensively? Let's see. Just the 1 bucket so far. And that was a difficult shot, well defended by Sania Rivers. Well, and Sania Rivers has at least 5 inches on Latson, so I wonder how that will play out. Can Latson find the bucket against so much size? Latson is the 5'8" guard from Miami, Florida. This is James. Misses on the 3. Knowles trying to run. Bonner got tangled up with Brooks out of bounds, and it will stay with Florida State. All of a sudden, the teams have cooled off a little bit. Combined, they've missed their last 9 shot attempts. Looking for high percentage, and they get it off the inbounds. It's Latson. That's as easy as it gets for offense for Florida State. And Wes Moore not happy about his team's breakdown defensively there. Latson, by the way, also has a triple-double this season against Gonzaga to go along with 4 double-doubles, and she's just starting to simmer, starting to heat up a little bit late in this first quarter. 1:40 to go. NC State won both of the meetings between the teams last year, and that's Brooks again. And she is looking to score, driving to the rim and trying to get her teammates involved as well. Well, she went 1-on-1 against Latson and brought a couple defenders and still able to put it in right next to the basket. Defense has got to be better for Florida State. Gordon. She'll miss it. Hayes gets the rebound. Madison Hayes is the leading rebounder for this NC State team, almost 7 per game. And that was Brooks on the sideline. So watch Zoe Brooks gets by Latson. Couple defenders right there. Nobody stops her. She's able to get a layup pretty much uncontested at the rim. And this Florida State defense, that is not what we're used to seeing. They've implemented this SOS defense. We'll talk about it a little bit later, but the point is that you're trying to get frenetic on the defensive end as much as you are on the offensive end because of so many possessions. And great high-low look inside and finish by Awu, who's coming off a great game. Fantastic pass by Isaiah James as well to find her teammate, Lorena Awu. The freshman from East Moline, Illinois, who only averages about 3 points per game. Some bonus offense from number 1. Trying to defend, may have committed the foul on the driving Timpson. And Awu coming off a game against Duke where in limited minutes, just 11 minutes, she had 8 points, 4 boards. She had a couple and ones. She brought the energy, and it was what they needed to finish out that game against Duke. So KK Timpson, the senior from Edison, Georgia, playing in her 122nd career game at the line. 80% free throw shooter.
This is what NC State wants to be careful of. You don't want to put Florida State at the line. They're the best in the ACC at free throw percentage.
By the way, 44 career double-doubles for Timpson. That's the most in school history.
It's unbelievable. And you just look at her progression year after year. She'll be ready to go to the W.
Brooks driving. Timpson defended it. They go back out to Hayes for a 3-ball.
A great baseline drive, draws all the defense inside, and the kick out is wide open for Hayes.
3 for 5 from three-point distance for NC State. And Hayes now has 133 career three-pointers. They are just piling up the numbers on both sides of the court.
And Hayes came into this game needing 16. Now she needs 13 for 1,000. So we got to watch that.
3 at the horn, bounces off the edge of the rim for Sydney Bowles. And so this first quarter belongs to the Pack, Kelly.
Madison Hayes, the recipient of a great pass to the top, drops it in. NC State on a roll.
You're watching ACC Women's Hoops on the CW, brought to you by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years. An impressive first quarter for Westmore and NC State all the way to the Final Four a season ago for the veteran head coach. You're watching ACC Women's Hoops on the CW, presented by Straight Talk Wireless. Straight Talk celebrates the remarkable women of the ACC. Latson crosses over and drives.
And that's a breakdown we haven't seen much from NC State. They have been able to contain Tania Latson. This first quarter for them, for Florida State, very reminiscent of that Cal first quarter. One of the 2 games they lost in the ACC. Cal won that quarter 29-13. Close to that in this score right now, 26-16. You can't have a slow start, though, against a team like NC State because they will make you pay.
Despite that most recent miss, NC State shot 52% as a team in the first quarter. That's back-to-back buckets for Latson.
It's almost like she went in that huddle and she's like, all right, guys, fine. I'll take over. I got it.
It wouldn't be the first time she would utter those words.
4 points in probably about 1 minute.
So she's up to 8 points now. Brooks trying to drive the lane and does so successfully.
Well, that's been the offense that has worked as well for NC State. Containment right now. It's got to be containment on these ball handlers as Latson goes up again. No foul.
Latson's behind the play. This is Brooks. Rivers. Free throw line. Latson back into the fray. KK Timpson, tough shot, it'll fall.
That is a high degree of difficulty against Awu inside, who's got a much bigger frame. Really difficult for Timpson to get around, but she does.
Timpson averages a robust double-double this season for the Noles, and that's James putting a little hush over the crowd here at Tucker Center.
Well, the ball screen in the middle third of the floor is almost unstoppable, and Florida State, or NC State rather, has been able to take advantage.
Latson again trying to force her way, stumbles down, still has the ball. Initially, I thought there was a 3-second call, and then maybe the timeout granted. And Westmore is not overly thrilled about it. It was Latson who stumbled down. Now, if she gets up, that's an automatic traveling violation. So she stayed down with the basketball and was granted the timeout based on what we saw. So we'll step aside for just a minute. Early on in the second quarter, first half of playing a 10-point lead for visiting NC State on the CW. Let's take a look at today's game summary presented by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years.
Tania Latson, 8 points in this one. She was quiet in that first quarter, but started off the second with 4 quick points. They'll need more of her.
Timpson against Trieger. Timpson trying to get it back after her miss. Up ahead, NC State is running. Rivers lays it in.
Right now, transition defense is just not there for Florida State. And for a team that knows how to run, you've got to think that has to be #1 priority to get back on defense.
This match is the largest lead of the game for NC State of the first half. Driving through, deflected away by Trieger. Hayes, crisscross dribble, trying to get to the rim. Williams got a piece of the ball and also got a piece of Madison Hayes. Foul on the play.
So a turnover turning into possible points again for NC State.
81% from the line for Hayes this season. Next Sunday on CW Women's Hoops, an in-state showdown. These Florida State Seminoles travel to Coral Gables, take on the Hurricanes, number 22 Florida State and Miami next Sunday. 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, only on the CW. Women's college basketball action continues all season long here on the CW in the ACC. Bonner finds a crease and goes to the rim.
Great play. You got the double on Latson down low. The kick out. She's wide open to take that lane to the bucket.
Hayes thought about a 3 for a moment. Coach Wes Moore not pleased with that last defensive sequence for his team, trying to make up for it on the offensive end with Brooks. She went for the spectacular shot, couldn't finish it off. Bonner's pass was deflected, picked up by Latson, accelerating to the rim. Trieger was there.
And defense inside the paint has been a lot better for NC State. Latson has tried to take a couple attempts at the bucket, but they've stopped her. Madison Hayes almost with the 3. Trieger with the finish.
Trieger at both ends of the floor, Kelly, defensively and then getting the offensive board for the putback.
Just a freshman, remember, and again, tall task against Michaela Timpson inside. Freshman against senior. Here it is.
Timpson on the drive, trying to go around the 6'6" freshman and Trieger, who once again grabs the rebound.
Well done, young girl. Stopping the first team All-ACC and Michaela Timpson.
Rivers against 2 defenders. Couldn't get it up on the square. 3-on-2. Bonner lines up a 3 ball. She's got it for the nose.
More of that. That's what Coach Wyckoff is saying. More buckets in transition, please.
So Bonner makes it a 10-point game. Almost had a steal, trying to knock it away from Brooks.
And this SOS defense, they are trying to force to the sides, away from that middle third. They want them to go baseline. They've done a good job.
Shot clock is at 4. James just needs to fire away. Bowles takes a look. Trying to drive it right into Rivers, and the foul is called.
Now here's the transition look that Florida State had been waiting for. Bonner in transition, catches ready to shoot. Right up for the 3. And now the lead only 10 for this NC State team.
That Bonner 3, just the second made 3 of the game on 8 tries for Florida State, which leads the conference, Kelly, in made 3s per game as Latson goes to the bench for some liquid refreshment. And some high-quality H2O and some high-level basketball from the stars of our game this afternoon. I mean, this is a showstopper right here. Timpson on the inbounds, unguarded.
Trieger tried to stop her from getting where she wanted to go, and that was a heads-up play by Timpson to use that space, seal her off, and get the ball from the out-of-bounds player.
Brooks back to the rim. Timpson got a piece of it. She'll be whistled for the foul.
Second best in the nation at blocked shots. Number 1 in the ACC. Had just had a block the possession before. Tries to get another one. And I didn't see a ton there Official did, and got Brooks at the line.
Zoe Brooks, a sophomore. The increase in the production and time on the court for the 5'10" guard from Plainfield, New Jersey, who seems to never stop, runs up and down the court.
You hear the boos from this fan base. They watched the replay of that potential block. They didn't agree either.
Gordon misses the shot. It's tapped out to the NC State bench out of bounds, and it is Wolfpack basketball. So the lead back to 10. We've got 4:32 to go in our second quarter. All time, this is the 54th meeting. NC State has the advantage, 36-17, and has won 7 of the last 8. Brooks will cross it over multiple times and got the bounce, and maybe with all that crafty dribbling, she deserved it from that rim here at the Tucker Center.
She's been outstanding. Getting to the rim, stopping for the mid-range. She's doing everything right now. 12 points already for her in this one.
Bonner driving and scoring.
Bonner having a game. Gets that shot to fall over the extended arms of Trieger inside.
Bonner, the junior from Fremont, California, trying to work on the Trieger screen. Shot bounces off right to Gordon, and then a foul committed. It looked like Jones, who had missed the initial shot, ran into Gordon.
I just want to go back to how high KK Timpson got to try to block that ball in the last possession. She was up over everyone.
She's been doing it all season long for sure. Started the afternoon with 262 career blocks, tied for second in school history. And she has a little breather on that bench as well for Florida State. Gordon brings it up. Inside of 3.5 minutes to go in our second quarter. Gordon. Trieger finds the loose ball. Jones, cross court. Gordon after the steal. Brooks couldn't take it away. Gordon lays it in.
Gordon almost lost it. Able to get her dribble back and put it in for 2. The fans starting to wake up in the Tucker Civic Center.
Brooks behind the line. Brooks has a 3 for NC State.
So just as Isaiah James was unstoppable against Duke, it looks like Zoe Brooks may be taking a page from her book as she is asking her coach for a sub, a well needed. And how about the block to follow the 3 up? Wow.
Brooks with 15 points after that 3-pointer.
So here's the defense and the rejection. And she gets a well-deserved rest.
Florida State calls a timeout right before the end of the count. It'll be NC State basketball. They did not beat the count. Trying to chip away at that lead every time NC State has a response. Rivers, Bonner, and Timpson in the vicinity, and a foul coming up for the Noles.
I'm curious if that's on Timpson. No, I don't think they're going to call it on Timpson. So Sanaya Rivers gets by Bonner, and Bonner will pick up the foul. And that's where the luxury of having Timpson inside, right? That foul is unnecessary when you've got Timpson, the rim protector, inside to try to alter the shot.
This week, CW Sports Saturday returns with wall-to-wall action. First, the CW Courtside Saturday doubleheader. Clemson faces Florida State, followed by Virginia Tech. Then NASCAR Xfinity Series begins with the biggest race of the year at Daytona. CW Sports Saturday, starting noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific only on the CW. Got the hardwood, the track, and women's basketball today in the ACC. Timpson against Trieger, who's done a very respectable job against Timpson on the inside for NC State.
I've been really impressed with her, even the fact that she can stay on the court for this long with this pace. And here goes Rivers.
Got tripped up by Latson, who was trying to get back. An awkward fall for Rivers, and Trieger tipped that to get that started. And then Rivers was upended.
The defense for NC State on the out of bounds has been superb. They've gotten a 5-second count. They have been able to alter what Florida State is trying to do. Got a steal on this last one. They were locked in at scout.
4 of 9 on three-point tries for NC State in the game. We're inside of 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. They flip it to Trieger. And that was James. What a pass.
Trieger now with 8 points.
Trieger also has 6 rebounds for the Pack.
And no fouls, which I think is important.
Series of moves from Bonner. Trieger boxing out with one arm, grabbing the basketball with the other.
And by the way, 7 rebounds already. Starts the break. Madison Hayes all the way down at the other end.
Dos Santos, who has come in for Florida State, picks up the foul.
18 in red. You are having a game. Nobody needs to tell you you're a freshman. It's February, right? My coach always said, once February, the calendar turns, you're not a rookie anymore. And she's not playing like one.
Stay tuned for today's halftime show presented by Intuit TurboTax. Now this is taxes. A lot coming up. Halftime here in Tallahassee. That's an 8-0 run now for NC State after the free throws. We'll look around the ACC, have your highlights from the first half, and there are plenty of them with the stars that we have out on the court this afternoon between NC State and Florida State. 2 of the top teams in the ACC. In fact, NC State right now in the standings is 2nd. Florida State is 3rd. Notre Dame, which is undefeated in conference play, right now holding that top spot.
Both these teams still have Notre Dame to play in their schedule. Both teams have a gauntlet in February. Does not get any easier after this.
Well, NC State beat Florida State in the semis of the tournament last year and then played Notre Dame in the championship game. A win for the Irish, 55-51. Smooth from Rivers. That's now a 10-0 run. Florida State had it down to single digits. Turnage missed. They're fighting for the loose ball. It's out of bounds on the end line, and it's Pack basketball.
Oh, but you love the extra effort from Turnage trying to go after her miss. NC State with an opportunity.
Florida State has not scored in 2.5 minutes, and the lead continues to balloon for NC State as we approach halftime. You do not want to be behind the Pack at halftime. They are 14-0 this season with the halftime lead. About a 6-second difference, shot and game. Shot clock inside of 10 for Jones. Dos Santos trying to defend. Jones steps back and she makes it and holds that finish for an extra beat. Gordon trying to beat the clock and fouled, to the dismay of Wes Moore, as James will pick up the foul.
Yeah, that's about the last thing you want. Your star player picking up a foul in the last few seconds of the game. Only her first, though.
3.3 on the clock. They give it back to Latson. Trying to drive, trying to get it away. Did not get it away. The ball was still in her hand in the shooting motion. And so that, look at that score at halftime. 51-31. NC State's got the lead. An incredible first half of play for NC State. No points in the last 3 minutes for Florida State. Halftime is straight ahead. 51-31. ACC Women's Hoops on the CW. Welcome to ACC Women's Hoops Halftime, brought to you by Intuit TurboTax. Now this is Taxes. Halftime between NC State and Florida State, a top 25 matchup. Here in Tallahassee as we go all around the ACC, presented by News Nation, the only cable news network that respects all Americans. Hannah Hidalgo from Notre Dame, Player of the Week. She's second in the league in scoring, 26 points per game, first in the league in steals for Hidalgo. North Carolina, the team of the week. They are 5-0 on the road in the ACC. They're on the road at Clemson today. They've won 7 of their last 8 games overall. We've got 7 teams in the AP top 25, including the 2 in our game today, Florida State and NC State. Well, this week, CW Sports Saturday returns with wall-to-wall action. First, it's a CW Courtside Saturday doubleheader as Clemson faces Florida State, followed by Virginia against Virginia Tech. Then the NASCAR Xfinity Series season begins with the biggest race of the year at Daytona. CW Sports Saturday, starting at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, only on the CW. And we'll have more on ACC Women's Hoops Halftime, brought to you by Intuit TurboTax after this. You're watching ACC Women's Hoops on the CW, brought to you by Intuit TurboTax. Now this is Taxes. And we're back on the ACC Women's Hoops Halftime, brought to you by Intuit TurboTax. On the Florida State campus, it's a surprising halftime score. NC State has a 20-point lead as we go around the ACC and check out the scoreboard, Kelly Dale. Yeah, Virginia Tech overtakes Virginia. That is the payback game as Virginia won that first one. And then how about Clemson with the lead at halftime over number 13 North Carolina. Notre Dame not having a problem early in that other top 25 matchup we got going on today. Florida State had a buzzer-beating win against North Carolina earlier this season. Latson had the game-winning bucket. All right, Saturday, the CW becomes the exclusive home of the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Catch all the pure, raw racing that only the NASCAR Xfinity Series brings. The new season starts with the biggest race of the year at historic Daytona. NASCAR Xfinity Series racing from Daytona, Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific, only on the CW. And we'll have more on ACC Women's Hoops Halftime, brought to you by Intuit TurboTax after this. Welcome back to ACC Women's Hoops Halftime, brought to you by Intuit TurboTax. From Tallahassee, the folks inside Tucker Center probably a bit surprised at that first half score, a 20-point deficit for Florida State on its home floor, which it had not lost on all season long. Tom and Kelly were courtside for this game here in Tallahassee. Very surprising in that first half, and a strong finish by NC State. They went on a 12-0 run to close out the second quarter. They have done everything well. Everything that they needed to do against this Florida State team that has that high-powered offense, they've done. They have locked down defensively. At Florida State, they average 90-some points a game. They're sitting in the 30s right now, 31 points. They cannot do that, and NC State has to be thrilled with how they've played that first half. You look at the halftime stats, though, I'm going right to that second chance points. 4 offensive rebounds only for NC State. They've scored on all of them, Tom. Florida State averages over 92 points per game, best in the nation. They've got a long way to get to 92 on the Intuit TurboTax stats at halftime. Latson with 8 points in that first half as the leading scorer. And this has been ACC Women's Hoops Halftime, brought to you by Intuit TurboTax. Now this is Taxes. Let's take a look at today's game summary presented by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years. Zoe Brooks, 15 points, 6 of 8 from the floor. By the way, in that game against Duke, she finished second leading scorer with 15 points. So she is already on her way to having quite a game, and they have needed everything to build this 20-point lead. NC State shooting 54% in the first half. Just 36% for Florida State, well below their season average of 45%. And these numbers favor the pack each and every way. 12-0 run to close out the second quarter, and they made their last 4 shots.
The one that concerns me is the 7 turnovers. Number 1 in the ACC in least amount of turnovers with 10 is Florida State. And NC State, this defense has already forced 7 turnovers. Coach Wes Moore, when we would talk to him before the game, he said, even though we won against Duke, he said, I hated watching that film over because I saw how poor our defense was. He has to be pleased with the way his team played in that first half.
That was a win Monday at home against number 10 Duke, 89-83. NC State is 18-4 in the season, 10-1 in conference play. Timpson got a piece of it. Traeger stays with it for NC State.
I love that. First play of the game, you go to the freshman who's having quite a game.
Latson kicks it into the corner, and the miscues continue to mount for Florida State.
And that's where I'm surprised that Latson even gave that pass up, because that is, again, part of the philosophy of this offense is every time the ball's in your hands, you're looking to score. Passing is the second option.
Brooks on the drive. And that'll drop for Brooks.
What hasn't dropped for Brooks? 7 of 9 right now from the floor.
15 first half points for Brooks. Get right back into the action. Timpson, they needed that bucket right there from Timpson.
That's easy offense for Florida State.
Michaela Timpson, the 8th leading scorer in the conference, 2nd leading rebounder. Hayes, nowhere to go. Inside Timpson, wide open layup. She's got back-to-back buckets, trying to create a spark for Florida State.
And now Florida State just needs to stop. They got one last possession and scored. That's all you have to think of when you are down by this deficit. Just get a stop and score. You got to shorten up this game.
James trying to work baseline. Tried the scoop, couldn't get it there. Well defended by Williams.
There's the stop. Can they score?
Latson cannot, but does earn free throws. Rivers was defending.
And Rivers now with 2 personal fouls.
So Latson at the free throw line. 87%, 7th in the ACC. You're watching ACC Women's Hoops on the CW, presented by Allstate. You're in good hands. Latson to double figures after the free throws, her first of the game. And that is now 22 of 23 games in double digits. James regathers, guarded by Latson. Trieger. Latson has the rebound. Into the teeth of that NC State pack defense. That's going to be an offensive foul.
Great positioning by James on that one to take the contact. Florida State had just been getting stop after stop. This is the best way to get offense going. Get a stop on defense yourself and force another foul on this Florida State team.
Noles are in the midst of a modest 6-0 run as James crosses it over and then banks it in on the run.
Wow. Talk about a Euro step.
Timpson on the block against Trieger. Did everything but finish. That's frustrating for Timpson.
Yeah, but you got to keep going back into Michaela Timpson. Let her go to work inside. That was a great move.
Despite that miss, she and Latson are in double digits. Timpson's got 12, Latson with 10. Brooks pass deflected to Trieger, and then take it away. Williams. She's made a couple of nice plays on the defensive end. Williams trying to do it on the offensive end. And that's just 2 of 10 from beyond the arc for Florida State, a team that averages almost 10 made threes per game. Kelly leads the ACC. Brooks through the defense, and Gordon recovered to knock it out of bounds.
Well, that was a great recovery by Gordon, because look at this. She splits the defense, goes right in between that horn set. Are you kidding me? They're playing her to come off the screen. What a heads-up play by Brooks, but Amaria Gordon with the stop.
Brooks has 17 points, 7 of 10 shooting. Trieger's got an easy bucket.
NC State has scored on a great percentage of those out-of-bounds plays.
12 points, 8 rebounds for Trieger. Watson had it knocked away on the drive. Hayes, Brooks by Gordon. Off the glass, bounces out. Trieger is there, and she puts it back up and in.
Freshman is almost at a double-double. 9 boards, 14 points. Doing everything right now on the inside. That was my main concern. Could she handle Michaela Timpson inside? I'm not saying Timpson hasn't scored, but Trieger's done everything she needed to do.
Trieger got her first career double-double at Cal with 19 points and 10 rebounds. She's on her way again against Florida State this afternoon.
And I think Trieger's starting to get a little winded, was slow down the court.
Rivers trapped in the corner for a moment. Safety valve to Brooks. Shot clock is at 5. Brooks steps around the defenders and serves it up.
I was just going to say, how about the defense from Gordon? She had her. Stopped her where she wanted to. Couldn't get a shot off, but that extra step allowed it in. And Latson, she trying to get going. That's her first 3 of the day.
Stops an 8-0 run for NC State. Latson, who shoots 36% on the season from beyond the arc. She's got 31 made threes to go along with everything else that she has done for the Noles. That is off target. NC State says it was deflected, and the officials do not agree.
Wes Moore pleading his case with the officials.
He's not going to win that fight, Kelly. He likes the looks of this, though. Brooks, calmly, with poise and composure around the defense. You're watching ACC Women's Hoops on the CW, brought to you by Hidden Valley Ranch. Only serious about flavor. Michaela Timpson, the star player for Florida State. Zoe Brooks leads everybody today with her 19 points. Latson trying to get in the mix, and you know she's going to be a deciding factor if they can somehow manage the comeback. What a shot by Latson. And fouled in the process.
The funny thing is, nobody is surprised by the fact that she made that. Look at this. Goes against 2 defenders, a couple of post players, at least 1 post player in there, and puts it in with contact. She's been doing it all season long, folks.
And that is 8 points in the quarter for Tanaya Latson, junior from Miami, Florida. Teams played here in Tallahassee in January of 2023. A win for the Noles, 91-72. NC State has not won here, Kelly, since January of 2017.
Nobody's won here this year. Florida State locking down home court advantage, as does NC State on their floor at Reynolds.
So Latson just picked up the foul. Inside of 4.5 minutes to go, and a turnover here in our third quarter. Latson, the kick into the corner. They work it to Gordon for the 3. On target.
It started on the defensive end. Florida State able to get a steal and then go in transition to get the bucket.
That is a 9-0 run here in the latter stages of the third quarter for Florida State. Entry pass, and then the conversion. Woo. She's back in there getting quality minutes. Had the position all the way. Latson again. Into the corner. It's going to stay with Florida State. 4 made threes in the game for Florida State. You can make it 5.
Maria Gordon with back-to-back triples for Florida State.
Brooks driving through traffic. Out to James, and she's got the answer. Trying to silence the crowd.
She does. Puts the finger up to her lips toward these FSU fans.
Latson too strong, Kelly.
I was going to say, don't forget about Latson in transition. You got to stop her. But Florida State, another offensive rebound, another possession at it. Here's Zoe Brooks. The triple comes, the pass, and then Isaiah James quiets the crowd.
Teams combining for 9 of their last 11 field goals. Avery Treadwell is into the game for Florida State, number 32, stealing the inbounds. James, Latson tried to take it right back.
11 turnovers now for Florida State to just 4 for NC State.
Brooks nowhere to go. Rivers straight away. Treadwell, the box out. Gordon.
3-on-1. How does she stop that? Incredible. Bonner gets the tip.
Bowles knocked it free. Latson in the corner trying to work the baseline and shed the defender, and an offensive foul is going to be called.
And this crowd doesn't like it. It looks like they're going to take a look at the video. Yeah, ran into her. I would say absolutely nothing outside of a regular basketball play, but obviously the official down low did not see the foul. So it was late because the top official made the call. But either way, foul on Tania Latson.
Florida State has made 5 of its last 7 field goals, although the lead is still sizable for NC State. Rivers getting the medical attention after stumbling down in the contact with Latson, who has picked up her 3rd personal foul. 2:32 to go in the 3rd. 68-49. And taking a look.
You're watching ACC Women's Hoops on the CW, presented by Allstate. You're in good hands. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
Back in Tallahassee, NC State still in front in a top 25 matchup. Here's the previous play that the officials were looking at. It's Latson on the move, Rivers defending.
The call on the floor was an offensive foul, a late call from the official up top, and they do not upgrade that at all. And NC State ball. But Latson with 3 fouls. That's
Jones brings it up. Yep. Jones for NC State. Swings it to Hayes. Now Brooks has been tremendous this afternoon in all aspects. Isaiah James, shot clock inside of 10, had it taken away. Bowles. Timpson looking for a 3rd opportunity. Volleyballed around and taken by the Wolfpack.
Those are the ones that Florida State's going to want back, because you were right next to the rim. 2 opportunities at a bucket, couldn't get it to fall.
James at the other end. Trieger alertly grabs the rebound. $14 points, 10 rebounds now for Trieger. The double-double. Jones running into contact. Second on Bonner. Sam Jones, the freshman. Should be on the inbounds. Villegas comes into the lineup for Florida State. Bowles leaves.
Oh.
James misses from short range.
Well, they don't get the bucket, but they have gotten exactly what they've wanted to on every out-of-bounds play, it seems. And there's, yeah, the jump ball.
The arrow will favor Florida State as Gordon was trying to drive it to the rim.
Sam Jones gets her hands on the ball to tie it up. As Amaria Gordon was trying to drive in transition, Jones says no.
Timpson says no also, guarded by Trieger. Fantastic move by Timpson, unable to finish it off. And now Brooks, who appears to play with more confidence every time she comes out on the floor. Trying to drive it against two defenders. Here comes Timpson to erase it. Right back to Brooks. Hits the cutter, James. That's composure.
And that is now 10 points, or pardon me, 7 points off of offensive rebounds right now for NC State. That has been a big difference in this game, and then points off turnovers as well, 13-5 in that category. They have dominated.
Most people around ACC women's basketball are probably taking a double take at that score as we close in on 3 complete quarters from Tallahassee, a place where Florida State has not lost this season. 12-0 and 5-0 against conference opponents. And NC State, by the way, is also undefeated at home.
And Tom, as Hayes gets the rebound and the bucket, I mean, not stopping anytime soon is NC State. But what fascinates me about this score is that right now, 49 points for a Florida State team. As you get a look at Hayes going up high, putting it in, they average 97 points at home. This is a team that leads the nation in points per game, and at home they're even better, just under 100, and they're sitting at 49 for 3 quarters of play.
17-3 advantage NC State, second chance points. Foul on the drive. Just 4.5 seconds to go in our 3rd quarter. So Bonner's at the free throw line. The CW has a brand new dramedy series coming soon called Good Cop, Bad Cop, starring Leighton Meester as part of an odd couple sister-brother detective team who don't always see eye to eye. Don't miss the series premiere of Good Cop, Bad Cop, Wednesday, February 19th, 9, 8 Central right here on the CW. Trying to beat the horn. It was Jones. We will go to the 4th. Take a look at that score. On the road, 72-51. NC State's got the lead on the CW. Let's take a look at today's key play, brought to you by Hilton Garden Inn, Hilton for the stay.
Well, I love this one because at the beginning, it looks like Amaria Gordon is playing excellent defense. Watch this. Cuts the floor and keeps her where she wants to go. Takes away that option, but she forgot about that one. Zoe Brooks has been phenomenal in this game. 19 points, 8 of 15 from the floor, 5 boards, 7 assists to go along with that.
We should have known about Zoe Brooks right from the beginning. Last year as a freshman, all ACC, and she had a triple-double during the course of the season last year for NC State.
You see the numbers on those big 3 for either team. Impressive.
Remember, if Westmore gets a victory, that would be 292 as the head coach of the Pack and 850 for his career. Second most wins among Division I coaches. He's taken this program to the NCAA tournament 8 times, 3 Sweet 16s, Final Four last year. And they won 31 games a season ago.
The Final Four last year was just so impressive. He is one of 7 teams ever to be unranked at the beginning of the season and then get all the way to a Final Four. He's got a lot of those players back this year and hungry for another opportunity.
So close to another bucket for Trieger. Gordon trying to start the comeback. Soft rim roll.
So the best part of this potential comeback right now for Florida State is the fact that they don't take time. And right now that's what NC State has on their side. So they want to slow down. Doesn't look like they're going to. But right now, pace is going to be important for Florida State to get the ball into the goal a few seconds into the shot clock.
If they go for the three-point shot, they are 5 of 14 so far in the game. Early moments of our fourth quarter. They're going to try a three. Villegas!
That's what she does well. She has not made a two-point shot all year long. Only attempted a couple.
Villegas now with 53s, and that ball's going to fall.
Rolled around the rim, and that's Madison Hayes' second and one. Here's the ball screen. She slips instead. Help comes just a little too late. Omaria Gordon fouls her as she makes the shot.
So Hayes completes the old school three-point play. She's into double digits as well. Both teams have 4 players that average double digits in scoring. Latson is one of them. Leads the entire country in scoring, and she'll go to the free throw line. Latson with 16 points. As a team that's now 8 of 10 from the line for Florida State. So trying to creep back into this one. I mean, who would have predicted this?
There wasn't a shot in my mind that this would be our score in the fourth quarter.
2 players on the floor. Timpson down for Florida State, helped up by her teammates. Rivers also in the middle of it.
My question coming into this was, how do you slow down this Florida State offense? Sanaya Rivers and her team have played they've played Florida State's game, essentially. They have set the pace. They've gotten up and down the floor. They've run in transition. And their defense has been phenomenal against this Florida State team.
The CW's #1 show is back, and it's all new this Monday. Don't miss All-American Monday, 8/7 Central, right here on the CW. That last replay we showed by our talented technical crew of Rivers driving to the basket. You want to play in the ACC?
Yeah.
That's what you face when you want to go to the goal.
Every time. I mean, we saw the list of top 6 players nationally. 5 of those were in the ACC, and then a foul on the three-point line, and that's the 4th on Tanaya Latson.
For everything that has gone right this season for Florida State, today just never seemed to find the proper rhythm and flow as far as the offensive production is concerned for Latson. Remember, she struggled right out of the gate shooting in this game. Does have 17 points, 6 of 15 shooting for Latson, and just 1 3.
And I think the slow start is what really hurt Florida State. You go back to that Cal game that I referenced. That's a game where they got off to a very slow start. Cal was knocking down threes, 5 people in double figures that game, and they just were not able to get back in it. Credit NC State and how their defense has not allowed Florida State even an option to get back in this game.
It's a double dribble against James, although the officials are going to talk about it. It's funny, we had the conversation with Westmore prior to the game, and we asked him about what his concerns are for this Florida State team, and he kind of threw up his hands like everything.
Right.
But as I watched the game unfold, maybe he knew a little something about what his team was going to bring to the table this afternoon.
Well, and my question to him, in watching those couple the California games that Florida State dropped, they had brought in some different defense to try to stop the middle, to try to stop that. Somebody getting in, somebody staying in the paint to try to stop penetration. And he said, hey, if you see me throwing in some junk defenses, that means we're not in good shape. We're not doing our job. Well, they have played a straight up defense, switched where they've needed to, got the ball where they needed to on offense, and they've been able to score.
They sure have. Sam Jones with the drive. Timpson was coming over looking for a block. Didn't stop number 3 in red. You know, even when Latson is just a little bit out of sync, she still put up 19 points and is probably going to score 20 again. That's a driving bucket. Across the lane from Bonner. Still the lead is 19 with 7 minutes to go in regulation. Did not expect to say that today.
No.
We talked with Coach Wyckoff as well. Talked about a lot of things, but she kept stressing defense, and it has not showed up today against NC State. Gordon pulls up, and she hits. Trying to creep back into this one. So Gordon's got 15 points. Right on her season average of 15.8, coming off the 15-point performance at Virginia. And the win this week for Florida State, where they put up over 100 points again for the 7th time this season. James just puts it up. Foul called on Gordon.
And NC State, I think, would be wise to take as much of the shot clock as possible. They don't need anything to be rushed. Get the best shot.
Keep in mind, Florida State averages over 92 points per game. They're sitting on 63 right now. They're actually on pace prior to today's game to set an ACC record for points per game, which is held by NC State. Its program scored almost 91 per game in 1991. There's some symmetry for you.
Yeah, what are the odds of that? Although this output today certainly will bring that number down just a bit.
Now, you know Coach Moore is not going to be happy until that final buzzer sounds.
But I imagine, you know, he told us, as I mentioned earlier, when he watched that Duke game back, he wasn't happy with their defense. I think that he is going to be pleased with what he sees in this game, the way they've been able to stop players. Obviously, you're not going to stop Latson. I don't think anybody expects to stop her. 19 points right now, but remember, she does have 4 fouls. Timpson's got 14. Gordon's got 15. Those are the 3 that you expect to have a big night.
Latson driving. Created the foul against Rivers. Getting to the line, scoring points with the clock stopped. Could be an ingredient to a comeback, although time is not on their side. So we highlighted both of these players at the top of the broadcast. Zia James. Tania Latson at the free throw line. She's once again gotten to the 20-point plateau. She has had some amazing games this season. 21 points now with that second free throw. Scored 40 at Virginia Tech, 39 against SMU in December. She's got 1 triple-double against Gonzaga, 4 other double-doubles, and she scored 20 points or more 22 times. This is game 23.
Yeah, I'm not going to put Florida State out yet. I realize, I see the score, I know, but I see 6 minutes left. And when you think about how fast Florida State can put points on the board and the personnel that's on the floor, if Latson can stay on the floor with 4 fouls, I think they've got a shot.
Rivers. First shot is a miss right to Latson. Wants to run it, had it poked away by Brooks and is able to save it. Latson. Timpson chased it. Trieger got another rebound. James on the run. Scores it. I was watching Coach Moore, and he kind of put his hands up like we can either take some time off the clock. All right, we'll take the bucket. We'll take the bucket too. From James on the run. Ooh, tough shot from Latson off the glass. Inside of 5 minutes to go in regulation. Brooks chases down the pass cross court. Nowhere to go on the baseline. Guarded by Bonner. Shot clock is at 5. Brooks down shifting into a triple team. Trying to get the shot away. Hayes did. Rebound Bonner. Took it away. trying to drive behind Timpson. Rivers blocked it. Timpson got it for Florida State.
And now you got to start pressing. Start trying to get NC State to turn the ball over if possible. They are trying to take as much time off this shot clock as they can.
Hayes is wide open for a three, and she hits it.
Well, that's one of those where you see the shot clock still over 10 seconds, but you know what? When you're wide open, and you've got a shot like that, go ahead.
Latson trying to follow her miss, crashes into Trieger. She and Timpson end up on the court.
And that is Latson's 5th foul. She'll be off. Here's the drive for Isaiah James. 20 points for the senior.
You're watching ACC Women's Hoops on the CW, brought to you by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years.
ACC women's basketball from the capital city, Tallahassee, Florida. Hasn't worked out so far in the favor of the Noles as we take a look at today's game summary, presented by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years.
And it's been the second chance points for the Wolfpack. 12 offensive rebounds have turned into 21 second chance points. The differential is 21-5. That is the game right there. NC State has taken advantage. They've been active on the glass, and they have the lead because of it.
So Tania Latson picked up that previous foul, her 5th. Second time she's fouled out this season, 23 points. For Latson in the game. She does lead all scorers with those 23. And again, that's all but one game this season. 20 points or more.
23 points in 29 minutes of play.
Just over 3.5 minutes to go in regulation. Florida State squarely staring down a potential home loss for the first time this year. It's an official's timeout. Brooks has been impressive with 19 points, 8 of 16 shooting, a couple of three-pointers. Hayes has made a couple of three-pointers as well. She's up to 134 in her career. Started at Mississippi State.
Tilda Trieger has been so impressive. Just a freshman, double-double, 16 points, 13 boards. As Sanaya Rivers makes this comeback pretty much obsolete.
Dribbling from Gordon. Stays with it, trying not to travel. And she did. Good sportsmanship from Rivers to help her up.
And great defense from Rivers. She deflected that ball, put a hand on the ball at least 2, if not 3 times on that, and gets the hug from her head coach, Wes Moore. That is a picture right there. He is pleased with his player.
She leads with 12 points, 5 players into double digits for NC State. 91-69. They have turned the tables on the highest scoring team in the ACC.
Tom, in watching film to prepare for this game, my huge question was, how in the world do you slow down this Florida State team? And NC State has put together a masterful performance. The scouting report was on point, and they executed what they wanted to perfection, essentially. Has had a pretty complete game with turnovers, too. Just 7 turnovers for them in this game. Shooting just under 50% from the floor. So good.
Brooks to the line. Should mention also that Trieger has 14 rebounds. That's a career high for the freshman, season high. Hayes to the bench as well. From start to finish, a complete performance for the NC State Wolfpack on the road. points, Zoe Brooks. Mallory Collier comes in. Trieger leaves. Big smile 2.0. Alyssa Kinane, are you watching? I bet she is.
I'm sure she is. Coach Westmore telling us a few games ago, as Amaria Gordon goes after the bucket, telling her that Tilda Trieger is the most impressive player in terms of just her joy.
We take a look at today's player of the game, brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle auto, home, motorcycle insurance. Visit progressive.com.
Well, the stat line speaks for itself. 16 points, 14 boards for the freshman. She had the tough task of guarding Timpson inside. Timpson obviously is going to get her points, but she was the rim protector they needed. She cleaned up on the glass, both on the offensive and defensive side. She was everywhere and was, I think, an easy pick on that all-freshman team that we'll see come out in March. So impressive for this NC State team.
James, soft little floater. Trieger's second double-double of the season. NC State just pouring it on. 95 points with a minute and a half to go. Treadwell.
These are numbers that we expected to see from Florida State. Obviously, NC State only averages 76 a game. Scored up in the 80s against Duke as well, and they're calling that a travel. I would agree.
Florida State just 6 of 18 on their three-point attempts. Westmore just about a minute and change away from win number 850. Had such great success with the Chattanooga program in the Southern Conference. In fact, Westmore as a head coach has been to 29 postseasons with his programs. He's in his 36th year as a collegiate head coach.
And how about the fact that he gets to a Final Four in his 35th year? A lot of people do that, you know, if they go, which is a rare number, right? You think that it's maybe a little earlier in your career. Well, he is closing out, and he has teams that are playing their best basketball.
Second time in school history, NC State to the Final Four. Kay Yao led them there in '98, and Westmore did it last season as they got to the national semifinals. Lost to South Carolina in Cleveland, 78-59 in the national semis. They actually beat his old program, Chattanooga, in the first round of the tournament last year.
Sean Poppy was the coach then.
Yeah.
He's now the head coach at Clemson.
Beat Texas in the regional final. And the final seconds of our game as Gordon will hit a three. Much too late for Florida State today. And there wasn't a whole lot of time this afternoon, Kelly Deo, that this game was in question. NC State resounding 97-74, and the first home loss of the year for Florida State.
It started with a 26-14 quarter that was completely taken by NC State, and they did not slow down. 97 points against this Florida State team, held them to 74. The defense, I think, is what they have to be most impressed with. 5
players to double digits, Brooks and James. 21 and 22 respectively. 97-74. More to come from Tallahassee in just a moment. 97-74. NC State hands Florida State its first home loss of the season. Yeah. With an incredible performance by the number 14 team in the nation. And here's the guy who orchestrated it. No. Wes Moore working those sidelines to get the victory. Yeah. Now, we talked before the game, and you told us the laundry list of all the things you needed to prepare for. You were ready for today, weren't you?
Well, it wasn't about me. It was about our players. What a week they've had. I mean, Duke, one of the best defensive teams in the country, and then we turn around and play Florida State, one of the best offensive teams in the country. you know, let me say first, Sinai Rivers, she's got something going on, a little virus, little something. She's had it going on for a while, has trouble eating. What a job she did, you know. Had to guard Latson all day, which is no fun. And I'm just so proud of her. Tilda Trigger, I think this was her coming out right here. Best game she's had. But really, just the whole team. I mean, Isaiah James, Zoe Brooks, I mean, Madison Hayes. I mean, they all unbelievable job. I couldn't be prouder of them.
Coach, you told us that after that Duke win, and obviously it was a great win, but you said you didn't like watching the film because your defense was not where it needed to be. Today, you held the highest scoring team in the country to 74 points, 39% shooting. What can you say about your defense today?
Yeah, like I said, it's about the players. You know, if they buy in and they want to get down and compete and guard the ball, for instance. And I just thought Sinai did an unbelievable job on Latson. Latson's a great player. Obviously, we tried to recruit her. You know, can't believe she didn't pick Wolfpack West, but, you know, what the heck. But, you know, I just thought Sinai did an unbelievable job. Her length, I think, helped. But just, you know, again, real proud of her because I know she wasn't feeling great. We didn't even know she'd play, and then look what she does. So, but really, the whole team, I thought rebounding, I know at halftime they didn't have any second chance points. I think they only went and got one offensive rebound in the first half. That's hard to do when you got Timpson out there and some of those other athletes.
So what does 850 mean to you, the career wins?
Yeah, you know, I'll be honest with you, I'd kind of forgotten about it, lost track, whatever. Yeah, it's about the staff that I've had over the years. You know, Nick, let me say this, Nikki West, I know we're trying to get emotional. Nikki's been with me 20 years, okay? I mean, my wife, I can't believe my wife hadn't gone in the portal, to be honest with you, okay? But
He's doing material now.
You know, and Nikki's a big part of this, you know, but really the whole staff, and then, like I said, the players. I mean, you know, my first year at Chattanooga, I'll go real quick. My first year at Chattanooga, we won 10 games. The next year, we did the same exact thing, same scheme, same preparation, everything. We won 26 games.
Wow.
We had different players. I understand my role. Sometimes it's to get the heck out of the way and let those girls go.
Well, you get 19 wins this season now, and you're 11-1 in ACC play, and we congratulate you on the victory on the road here in Tallahassee. And thank you for your time, Wes.
Thank y'all.
Go drive that Corvette in the nice weather.
Yeah, I'm driving it tomorrow, baby.
It's red. You can bet that Corvette is red.
Don't tell the Highway Patrol. I'm going to be out there tomorrow.
Once again, our final score, 97-74 for Kelly Deo and our entire crew. I'm Tom Wormy. We thank you for watching. Tune in next weekend for a huge CW Sports weekend, including number 22 Florida State at Miami in women's hoops and NASCAR Xfinity Series from Daytona. What an afternoon for the Pack. They roll into Tallahassee, and they roll out with the win, 97-74. And we thank you for watching ACC Women's Hoops on the CW. So long from Tallahassee.